Chapter 291, the first level of the human fairyland. I can kill him with a fart. What should I do? The benefits given by the other party have far exceeded my imagination, and I can't refuse it at all. Don't say by the status of the Son of God and the Supreme Elder, even if it is to buy her position as the Holy Lord, it is more than enough. Looking at the huge purple dark crystal mountain, Hu felt the oppression from the prodigal son for the first time. After all, except for the prodigal son, who can do such a crazy thing? If you accept, with this purple dark crystal mountain, my Wuji Holy Land can buy enough cultivation resources, and the entire Holy Land will undergo earth-shaking changes. But once others know about it, I'm afraid my Wuji Holy Land will become a laughing stock of countless people. If you don't accept, this can buy a Wuji Holy Land, who the hell can refuse it? After struggling for a long time, Hu couldn't think of a reason to refuse. As for killing people and stealing treasures, who can casually take out such a large purple dark crystal mountain? Can he be an ordinary person? And one sentence can make the quasi-holy son Lu Chongqing ignore her, the Holy Lord, which has already reflected the other party's unsophisticatedness. With this purple dark crystal mountain, you can buy the identity of the Holy Son, but the identity of the Supreme Elder is not something I can decide alone. Even if I agree, it is meaningless if it is not recognized by the other 8 Supreme Elders. Just after saying that the Holy Son and the Supreme Elder cannot be bought and sold, Hu slapped herself in the face. At this time, her face was extremely embarrassed. After all, she never dreamed that the other party actually had such a huge purple dark crystal mountain in his hands. In this case, I will not force it. Please return the fairy ring to me, Holy Lord, and I will leave the Wuji Holy Land immediately. I believe there should be other forces that will accept my deal. What? Hearing Yifeng's words, Hu instantly became anxious, holding the fairy ring and walked out of the temple, saying, "Wait here for a moment, I will immediately go to the 8 great elders to discuss this matter, and I will definitely give you a satisfactory answer at that time." Hey! Wuji Holy Land is still too poor. I can't stand it if I can sell the identity of the Holy Son and the Great Elder with just a piece of broken purple dark crystal. Fortunately, I concealed my identity and came here to investigate. Although there are only 15 days, I have to improve the current poverty of Wuji Holy Land before my master ascends to the upper realm. Looking at Hu leaving, Yifeng felt that he would be happy and busy again in these 15 days. System, now my points of spending money are temporarily cleared, and my strength is temporarily improved. If I spend money, how should the rewards be calculated? With nothing to do, Yifeng also asked the system with curiosity. Ding. If the host engages in prodigal behavior, the system will normally issue prodigal points and special rewards. Ding. In order to prevent the host from having a nesting doll feeling, the system has changed the breakthrough method. It no longer consumes prodigal points as a breakthrough method, but adds a special reward, the immortal pill, to a series of rewards such as prodigal behavior rewards, task rewards, and rewards for consuming daily prodigal products. Every time you swallow an immortal pill, you can break through a small realm. Even if your strength reaches the peak of the 9th level of the human immortal realm, swallowing an immortal pill can successfully break through to the 1st level of the earth immortal realm. Ding. Remind the host that the immortal pill is a special reward that can be obtained with a chance. Huh. After hearing the system's explanation, Yifeng also showed a touch of surprise. It should be said that this new way of breakthrough did bring him a sense of freshness. System, since the prodigal points are no longer needed to improve strength, what else can they be used for besides opening various fairy-level jars? Yifeng thought about it and continued to ask the system. Ding. It's useless. However, in order to allow the host to enjoy more happiness, the hard work fee, benefit fee, and meeting gift that can trigger prodigal behavior can be given jar items in the future. Because it is a private item opened by the host consuming prodigal points, there is no upper limit to the prodigal range, but as long as the prodigal standard is reached, the system will give rewards. Well. Hearing this, Yi Feng's eyes lit up. To be honest, when he was in the lower realm, he was either below the prodigal range or above the prodigal range. Although the purpose was good to prevent him from becoming a big victim, after a long time, he would always feel constrained, especially to his own people, so what if he gave more? But now that the system has added this mode, it makes him feel very comfortable. When he wants to be willful prodigal, he gives it himself. When he wants to be reasonable prodigal, he gives it with the system's things. Ding. Remind the host that the system has changed in many aspects and added some auxiliary functions. The host can slowly explore them in the future. At this moment, the system's voice sounded again in Yi Feng's mind. System, I, Yi Feng, would like to call you the strongest ruler. Hearing this, Yi Feng also gave the highest affirmation to the invincible loser system. Taishu Peak. Holy Lord, you are anxious to call all our 8 great elders over, but what crisis has occurred in the Holy Land? Elder Taishu looked at Huli and asked, solemnly. Huh? Huli took a deep breath, then looked at the 8 great elders, and said, 8 great elders, our Wuji Holy Land may have a 9th great elder. Because this matter is too serious, I came here to discuss it with you. The 9th great elder. Hearing Huli's words, the 8 great elders showed a touch of joy on their faces. After all, having one more great elder means that the strength of the Holy Land has been raised to a new level. Holy Lord! How strong is this person? What is his character? What special abilities does he have? How did you identify him as the 9th Supreme Elder? After the surprise, Elder Taishu also looked at Huli and asked hurriedly, and the other 7 Supreme Elders also looked over. They were also extremely curious about the situation of the 9th Supreme Elder who suddenly appeared. The strength is the first level of the human fairyland. Character is unknown for the time being. As for the special abilities, does it count as a spendthrift? As for how to get my recognition, before Huli finished speaking, Elder Ziju on the side could not help but interrupt. Holy Lord, you are just making a fuss. He is only in the first level of the human immortal realm. With such rubbish strength, I can kill him with a fart. How can he be the Supreme Elder? Moreover, you don't even know the other party's character clearly. What if the other party is an unforgivable cultivator? It is very likely to bring immeasurable damage to the Holy Land. And he has special skills. When can he be considered a loser? Boom. Before Elder Ziju finished speaking, Huli took out the terrifying Ziming Xianjing Mountain from the Immortal Ring. Chapter 292 Xinghuan Peak, Let Luo Qianxue Find the Feeling of Home. Fuck. This is the Ziming Xianjing Mountain. When the 8 Supreme Elders saw the Ziming Xianjing Mountain, which was suddenly 1,000 meters high, they were so shocked that their eyes almost burst. It is no exaggeration to say that even if the 8 of them had accumulated nearly 10,000 years of wealth, they would not be able to match this purple dark crystal mountain. That person said that he wanted to use this purple dark crystal mountain to buy the identities of the Holy Sun and the Supreme Elder of our Holy Land. I really couldn't find a reason to refuse, so I came here to discuss with the 8 Supreme Elders to see whether to sell it or not. After all, this kind of thing has probably never happened in the upper realm. Seeing the shocked 8 Supreme Elders, Huli directly stated the real purpose of coming this time. Sell. 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 This guy can buy the entire Wuji Holy Land, and the other party just wants 2 identities, why not sell it? Hearing Huli's words, Elder Taishu also quickly expressed his thoughts. Holy Lord! I take back what I just said. Being a spendthrift is indeed a skill. This spendthrift has broken my perception of being a spendthrift. However, this person may not be simple. Although his strength is low, his identity may be extremely terrifying. Although we don't know why he came to our Wuji Holy Land, we'd better be friendly to him. Elder Zizhu also expressed his thoughts at this time. Soon, the other 6 great elders also expressed their thoughts. The final result of the discussion was to sell the identities of the Son of God and the great elder to the other party, and to immediately notify the entire Holy Land, and give the last towering fairy peak to the other party. Wuji Peak, Holy Temple. Yi Feng, I have discussed with the 8 great elders, and agreed to sell you the 2 identities of the Son of God and the great elder. At the same time, the remaining highest fairy peak will also belong to you, and you can even name it. After returning, Huli also directly told Yi Feng the result of the discussion. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully squandering money. Reward, 500,000 squandering points, 2 immortality pills, and 100 Yinyang illusion grass. Yinyang illusion grass, grown in the Yinyang illusionary realm, one of the forbidden places in the upper realm, it is of great help to cultivators who practice Yinyang magical powers. After knowing the situation of Yinyang illusion grass, Yi Feng remembered one thing, that is, the upper realm, no magical powers. In the upper realm, I am afraid that many cultivators have various magical powers, just like his magical power, the Buddha of good and evil. I was given 2 immortality pills right away. That's great. It's much more comfortable than accumulating waste points bit by bit, although this depends on your face. However, after the waste points were not of much use to me, the waste points awarded by the system were really capricious. If it was a nesting doll mode, I'm afraid it would only reward me with 100 waste points. Thinking of this, Yi Feng also looked at Huli and said with a smile, Saint Lord, in this case, I will name that immortal peak Xinghuan Peak. Xinghuan Peak, what a good name. Then I will call you Xinghuan Elder from now on. Hearing the name Yi Feng gave, Huli also smiled and complimented him. She had to compliment him. The other party gave her too much. If she didn't compliment him well, she would not feel at ease taking the Ziming Xianjing mountain. Star Soul Elder. I will immediately inform the entire Holy Land of your identity as the Holy Son and the Supreme Elder. However, there is one possible situation that I have to tell you first, that is, because of some special circumstances of yours, there may not be any disciples who will worship under your Star Soul Peak. Huli was also extremely helpless. After all, even the servants of the Holy Land were stronger than Yi Feng. Unless someone was crazy, it was impossible for anyone to worship under Yi Feng's Star Soul Peak. Although the Wuji Holy Land is a whole, the 9 immortal peaks also represent the 9 factions in the Holy Land. Being able to worship under the Supreme Elder Peak is also the pursuit of countless inner and outer disciples of the Holy Land. It doesn't matter. After a while, I will personally recruit some disciples outside. However, don't say that I don't give these inner and outer disciples of the Holy Land a chance, but I will only give them 1 chance. 1 hour. When you inform the entire Holy Land, I will only wait for 1 hour at the foot of Xinghuan Peak. If anyone comes, I will accept them. If they don't come, it means they don't have this opportunity. Opportunity? Following you, a cultivator with only the strength of the first level of the human fairyland, is it also an opportunity? Wait. Suddenly, Huli thought of the terrifying purple nether mysterious crystal mountain in the fairy ring. If the other party still has good things in his hand, coupled with the other party's crazy and wasteful style of doing things, it seems to be a great opportunity. A moment later. At the foot of Xinghuan Peak. Master, after leaving Xinghuan Peak in the lower realm and arriving in the upper realm, I must make you feel at home. By the way, when the time comes, the best spiritual crystals will be used to pave the ground, the best spiritual crystals will be used to build the residence, and the golden hut, the luxurious doghouse, and the wooden villa built by the golden soul Holy Spirit tree, I must restore them all. Thinking that Luo Qianxue might have an illusion that she had ascended but didn't ascend at that time, Yi Feng couldn't help laughing, and then muttered to himself, there are not many disciples who care about Master as much as I do. At this time, the entire Wuji Holy Land had exploded. Are you crazy? A little cultivator of the first level of the fairyland has become the son of the saint and the supreme elder of the Holy Land? I won't say whether he is the son of the saint or not. The supreme elder is the ceiling of the Holy Land's combat power. Why can he be the supreme elder? Yes, to become a holy son, one may have extremely terrifying talent and potential, but is becoming a supreme elder too much of a joke? Except for strength, the rest of the situation is unknown. In this case, only a fool would worship at Xinghuan Peak. When the inner and outer disciples of the Holy Land learned of this explosive news, they all gathered together to discuss it, but despite the discussion, no one went to Xinghuan Peak, which was exactly the same as Hu Li's previous guess. But there are exceptions to everything. At this time, Lu Chongqing was on his way to Xinghuan Peak. He really didn't expect that Yi Feng actually bought the identity of the Holy Sun with his own money ability. Not only that, he even bought the identity of the Supreme Elder. To be honest, when he heard the news, he was really scared. He didn't dare to imagine how terrible a price Yi Feng paid to buy these two identities. But he knew a lot of Yi Feng's secrets. Others would not worship at Xinghuan Peak, but he must worship at Xinghuan Peak. No one could stop him from worshipping at Xinghuan Peak. What Lu Chongqing didn't know was that not far behind him, there were two young men following him. They were the other two of the three quasi-saints of Wuji Holy Land. Chapter 293 Brother Chongqing, who are those two funny guys? There's something wrong with Lu Chongqing. Suddenly a saint son appeared, and we were both almost pissed off. Why didn't he react at all? Mu Lin asked Tianhen with a puzzled look on his face. I don't know. In order to compete for the position of Saint Sun, the three of us have tried our best over the years. Now we have lost hope, but he has no reaction at all. This is very abnormal. Besides, his current route is to Xinghuan Peak. Isn't he going to worship Xinghuan Peak? Tianhen frowned and expressed his thoughts at this time. The strength of the first level of the human fairyland not only became a saint son, but also became a supreme elder. Now Lu Chongqing seems to be ready to worship Xinghuan Peak. Facing this situation, Mu Lin and Tianhen both had their own ideas in their hearts, but neither of them said the real thoughts in their hearts, but only said some insignificant ideas. Under the Xinghuan Peak. Boredom, Yi Feng also checked the products of today's waste. Today's wasted product, Yin Yang Fantasy Pupil Grass * 1000000 1 million. When Yi Feng checked today's wasted product, a look of surprise appeared on his face. He had just rewarded 100 Yin Yang Fantasy Pupil Grasses, but today's wasted product was 1 million? System, the prodigal points are no longer important to me. Even if I don't consume all the prodigal products every day, it doesn't matter. Yi Feng suddenly thought of something at this time and asked the system directly. Ding. If you don't consume all the prodigal products of the day, the punishment is still to deduct the prodigal points. Whether to choose to complete it depends on the host's mood. Fuck. Really no punishment? Hearing this from the system, Yi Feng was really shocked. After all, deducting prodigal points is no longer a punishment for him. He thought the system would make adjustments to the punishment for daily prodigal products, but who would have thought that it would remain unchanged? Ding. A system that uses punishment to spur the host to grow is not a good system. Ding. Giving punishment in the lower realm is also to hope that the host can adapt to the identity of a prodigal god as soon as possible. At present, the host is already a qualified prodigal god, so the system will not set any punishment. Hearing the sound of the system again, Yi Feng also smiled bitterly, because he suddenly felt like he was being left alone. 1 million Yin Yang Fantasy Eye Grasses, how can this be wasted? Although there was no punishment, Yifeng had indeed developed a good habit of wasting money during his months in the lower world. If he didn't spend money for a day, he would feel uncomfortable all over. Thinking about it, Yifeng couldn't help but look at the Xinghuan Peak, which was surrounded by fairy mist and reached the sky. Huh! At this moment, Yifeng suddenly found a figure in the distance, which made him wonder, someone actually wants to come to my Xinghuan Peak. Young Master Yi. As the figure got closer and closer, Lu Chongqing's excited voice also rang out. Lu Chongqing? When Yifeng saw that the person coming was Lu Chongqing, a look of surprise appeared on his face. I snatched your position as the Holy Sun, and you want to join my Xinghuan Peak? Not far away. Damn. I said that Lu Chongqing was not right. He actually knew this young man who was both the Holy Sun and the Supreme Elder, and he even called him Young Master Yi. After hearing Lu Chongqing shout, Mu Lin also showed a look of surprise. The fact that Lu Chongqing called him Young Master Yi was enough to prove that the other party was not simple. Something's wrong. Lu Chongqing was a little too respectful to that young man. Even when he met the Holy Lord, he was not so respectful. Mu Lin, what do you think that young man is? At this point, Tianhen suddenly realized that Mu Lin, who was just beside him, had disappeared. When he turned around, he found that Mu Lin was rushing towards the other party at the fastest speed. Fuck. Mu Lin, aren't you betting too much? What if the other party doesn't have any outstanding qualities? Then we will be ruined if we join Xinghuan Peak. As he said that, Tianhen silently took out the flying fairy weapon, and directly urged it to the extreme, chasing from behind at a faster speed. Bet. The two of them bet directly at this time. Everyone is a quasi-holy sun. Since Lu Chongqing dares to bet, why don't they dare? At the bottom of Xinghuan Peak. Young Master Yi, I want to worship Xinghuan Peak. After coming to Yifeng, Lu Chongqing also excitedly stated the purpose of his visit this time. Okay. Since Lu Chongqing wanted to join Xinghuan Peak, Yifeng had no reason to refuse. After all, he had to stay in this upper realm for 15 days. If he was alone here, it would be a bit boring. Brother Chongqing, although my strength is very low, no matter what, I have become the son of the Holy Land and the Supreme Elder. This reveals a bit of unusualness. Won't the inner and outer disciples of the Holy Land guess something? Shouldn't anyone come? At this time, Yifeng looked at Lu Chongqing and asked the doubts in his heart. Young Master Yi, you should just call me Chongqing from now on. The gap between our statuses is too big. I'm not used to you calling me that. As for the situation you mentioned, since the Holy Lord only revealed your cultivation level, even if many people would guess something, no one would dare to bet, because once you join the Immortal Peak, it's a lifelong thing. At this point, seeing that Yifeng was still puzzled, Lu Chongqing continued to explain. To put it simply, a disciple wanted to become a fairy grass master, but ended up joining your Xinghuan Peak, only to find that you focus on refining weapons, which is really useless. So even if you have the qualifications to join the 9 fairy peaks, everyone will choose carefully. Hearing this, Yifeng completely understood it, and also understood the Saint Lord's approach. After all, his focus was on losing money, which was indeed inconvenient to say. Could it be that Xinghuan Peak specifically recruited disciples with the potential to lose money? This is the upper realm, and it is also a world of the survival of the fittest. If you don't work hard to pursue strength, but want to pursue losing money, isn't that bullshit? Xinghuan Elder. Disciple Tianhen wants to join Xinghuan Peak. At this moment, Tianhen's voice suddenly came from a distance. Fuck. Tianhen, do you have any shame? You just joined the Immortal Peak, but you even used the flying immortal weapon. Looking at Tianhen flying by, Mu Lin was so angry that he cursed, and then hurriedly shouted to Yifeng in the distance, Elder Xinghuan, disciple Mu Lin also wants to join Xinghuan Peak. After that, Mu Lin quickly took out the flying immortal weapon and chased after Shi Tianlei. Chongqing, who are those two funny guys? Looking at Mu Lin and Shi Tianlei chasing each other in the distance, Yi Feng also asked Lu Chongqing with a confused face. Chapter 294, Is this the happiness of a prodigal son? Fuck. Why are these two guys here? Seeing Mu Lin and Shi Tianlei in the distance, Lu Chongqing also revealed a look of surprise, and then hurriedly looked at Yi Feng and explained, Young Master Yi, the two of them are also quasi-holy sons of the Holy Land, but what I didn't expect was that they would come here. Two quasi-holy sons. Are you all crazy? I took your position as the son of the saint, and then you all came here to worship my Xinghuan peak? After learning the identities of the two people, Yi Feng was really shocked. Ordinary inner and outer disciples were not accepted, but the three quasi-holy sons of the Holy Land were accepted. If this news spreads, the Holy Land will explode again? A moment later. Are you three sure you want to worship my Xinghuan peak? Looking at the three quasi-holy sons standing in a row in front of him, Yi Feng also asked seriously. Elder Xinghuan, we are sure we want to worship Xinghuan peak. Hearing Yi Feng's question, the three of them answered together with a firm look. Okay, then you all stay. 3 people were received at once, and they were the 3 quasi-saints of the Holy Land. To be honest, Yi Feng didn't know how to tell the Holy Lord about this result. Since you have already joined my Xinghuan peak, I will tell you about my situation. Other immortal peaks either grow immortal herbs, or make pills, or refine weapons, or study immortal formations, but my place is special. We specialize in losing money. After a pause, Yi Feng also looked at the 3 people and directly told them the main focus of Xinghuan peak. Specialize in losing money. Instead of working hard to improve their own strength, they have to spend energy to learn how to become a prodigal? Play? Hearing Yi Feng's words, Mu Lin and Shi Tianlei looked at each other and saw a touch of despair in each other's eyes. This is not as simple as losing the bet. This is losing everything. Thinking of using the cultivation resources that should have been used for cultivation to spend money in the future, both of them felt heartbroken at this moment. Those are all guarantees that can improve their own strength. What worries the two most is that once the Holy Land finds out that their Xinghuan peak has used all the cultivation resources issued by the Holy Land to spend money, it is very likely that their cultivation resources will be cut off at that time, and then they will be completely finished. Now they can only pray that Yi Feng is joking with them, otherwise their lives will really be ruined here. As for betraying the immortal peak, they dare not even think about it. Once they do that, there is only one result, that is, abolishing the immortal root and being expelled from the Holy Land. Lu Chongqing, who was standing by, did not react much at this time, because he had long known about Yi Feng's money power. Young Master Yi, there is one thing I am very curious about, that is, what price did you spend to buy the 2 identities of the Holy Son and the Supreme Elder directly from the Holy Lord? With curiosity, Lu Chongqing also looked at Yi Feng and asked, tentatively. Bought? The identities of the Holy Son and the Supreme Elder were actually bought. Can this be bought? However, before Yi Feng could answer, Mu Lin and Shi Tianlei, who were in despair, were shocked when they heard Lu Chongqing's words, and they wondered if they had hallucinations. After all, even if the Wuji Holy Land is not a powerful force in the entire upper world, it is one of the top forces in Dongzhou, and the Holy Son and the Supreme Elder are the 2 faces of the Holy Land. It is hard for them to believe that the Holy Lord would make such a deal. Don't say it, I feel heartbroken when I talk about this. I really didn't expect that our Wuji Holy Land is so poor that a piece of broken purple dark crystal can sell such an important identity of the Holy Son and the Supreme Elder. But now that I'm here, I will work hard to change this situation and make our life in the Wuji Holy Land better. Hearing Lu Chongqing's inquiry, Yi Feng did not hide anything, and even said some of his true thoughts. Broken purple dark crystal? Purple nether crystal is an extremely rare immortal ore in the upper realm. How come it becomes garbage when you say it? Hearing Yifeng's words, the three of them suddenly felt that there was something wrong with their cognition. Wait. I still have a piece of purple dark crystal in my hand. Can a piece of purple dark crystal buy the status of the Holy Sun and the Supreme Elder? At this moment, Lu Chongqing felt something was wrong, and hurriedly looked at Yifeng and asked, "Young Master Yi, how big is the piece you are talking about?" "Not that big. It is a piece of purple dark crystal that is 1 kilometer high and 500 meters in diameter, but if you are serious, it should be a large piece." Hearing Lu Chongqing's inquiry, Yifeng also explained in detail. 1 kilometer high and 500 meters in diameter. That's a fucking mountain, right? You call a purple dark crystal mountain a large piece? Hearing what Yifeng said, the three people couldn't believe their ears. They really wanted to say to Yifeng, "Do you have any misunderstanding about a large piece?" Mu Lin and Shi Tianlei, who had recovered from their shock, looked at each other again. There was no trace of despair in their eyes, but endless excitement. This was not worshipping Xinghuan Peak, but worshipping the god of wealth. The god of wealth who could easily take out such a large piece of purple nether mysterious crystal. Would he need the cultivation resources issued by the Holy Land in the future? Young Master Yi. If it's really that big of a piece of purple nether crystal, it's no exaggeration to say that it's enough to buy the entire Wuji Holy Land. Lu Chongqing showed an anxious look at this time and told Yifeng about the terrifying value of that piece of purple nether crystal. Really? But I only want the status of the Holy Sun and the Supreme Elder. Hearing what Lu Chongqing said, Yifeng also smiled and explained. As for the fact that this was actually a gift for the master, he was not going to say it. Crap. Is this the happiness of a prodigal son? I can obviously buy the entire Wuji Holy Land, but I only want the two identities of the Holy Sun and the Supreme Elder. Hey, it's just prodigal sons and fun? After the three heard Yifeng's explanation, at this moment, they felt that their previous understanding of prodigal sons seemed to be biased. This is the real prodigal son. Okay. Next, we have to hurry up and do something serious. If you didn't come here, I might not be able to finish it alone. At this time, Yifeng also showed a serious look and said to the three quasi-holy sons. What? Business. Hearing Yifeng's words, the three people's eyes lit up. Under the impact of Yifeng's crazy and wasteful behavior, they urgently wanted to do something serious to calm their minds. Chapter 295, Climbing the Ladder, just for one more choice. That is, yin-yang fantasy eye grass. When the three saw the handful of yin-yang magic pupil grass that Yifeng took out, they all exclaimed with their eyes wide open. That was the yin-yang magic pupil grass that the Holy Lord had always wanted. Seeing Yifeng casually throw a handful of yin-yang magic pupil grass that was nearly 1 meter long and black and white on the ground, their hearts trembled. They really wanted to say to Yifeng, "You can't treat them like this, they are all treasures." And the three were also thinking that if these 8 yin-yang magic pupil grass were given to the Holy Lord, the power of the Holy Lord's magical power, yin-yang magic pupil eye, would definitely be greatly improved. And more. However, when the three saw Yifeng start to take out the yin-yang magic pupil grass one after another, and then throw those yin-yang magic pupil grass on the ground, they couldn't believe their eyes. For some reason, after seeing more and more yin-yang magic pupil grass piled up on the ground, the three inexplicably had an illusion that those yin-yang magic pupil grass were not treasures at all, but weeds that can be seen everywhere in the wild. Young Master Yi, what are these yin-yang magic eye grasses used for? With curiosity, Lu Chongqing also looked at Yifeng and asked. Weaving a grass ladder. I have 1 million yin-yang magic eye grasses, enough to weave a ladder to the top. In this way, when we go to the top of the mountain in the future, we can take the peak road if we want to, and climb the ladder if we want to. Hearing Lu Chongqing's question, Yifeng also expressed his thoughts with a proud look on his face. Weaving a grass ladder? Weaving a grass ladder with such precious yin-yang magic grass? And we have to use 1,000,000 plants? Just to have one more choice when going to the top of the mountain? If the Lord sees this, will he be beaten to death? After hearing Yifeng's idea, the three of them were all dumbfounded. They were shocked that Yifeng actually had 1,000,000 yin-yang magic grasses. But what shocked them even more was Yifeng's crazy way of squandering money. Is this something a normal person can think of? It is no exaggeration to say that if they were given 1,000,000 yin-yang magic grasses and asked to spend money, to be honest, they would not know how to spend money. Don't just stand there. Hurry up and get started. This task is still very difficult. We have limited time and must complete it before the evening. Looking at the three people standing there in a daze, Yifeng also urged them directly. Evening. When Yifeng looked at the ladder, connecting the peak to the top of the peak, a smile appeared on his face. However, Yifeng was smiling, while the other three quasi-saints were crying as they looked at the ladder that went straight into the sky. As a powerful cultivator at the peak of the 9th level of the Shenxian realm, weaving 1,000,000 immortal grasses is not a difficult task. But what they wove was the yin-yang fantasy pupil grass. Who knows how they survived this afternoon? They really want to say something to Yifeng. Even if they want to make them lose money, the starting point is too damn high. They are not losers. Who would have thought that after meeting Yifeng, the opening is a king bomb? Who can withstand this? Okay. You go to the top of the peak to rest first, just climb up the ladder. I'll go find the Holy Lord. After all, I have to tell the Holy Lord that I have taken you 3 quasi-holy sons under the peak. By the way, let the Holy Lord come to see how my ladder is. Looking at the 3 quasi-holy sons, crying with joy, Yifeng was extremely satisfied with the performance of the 3. What? Are you afraid that the Holy Lord can't see it, and you even want the Holy Lord to come and see it in person? This is simply killing people. Hearing Yifeng's last words, the 3 quasi-holy sons were really shocked. Is this something a human can do? Even a dog can't do such a thing. They didn't dare to imagine what the Holy Lord's reaction would be when he saw the mountain ladder woven from 1,000,000 yin-yang magic grasses. Wuji Peak, Holy Temple. Elder Xinghuan. When Huli saw Yifeng entering the temple, a trace of worry appeared on her face. She was really afraid that no one would join Xinghuan Peak, which would make Yifeng unhappy. Holy Lord. Today, Xinghuan Peak has accepted 3 disciples from the Holy Land, so I came here to tell you. Looking at Huli standing opposite, Yifeng also smiled and said the purpose of coming to the temple this time. Huh. Hearing this, Huli also breathed a sigh of relief. It was far beyond her expectations that 3 disciples from the Holy Land could join Xinghuan Peak. Holy Lord. Since Lu Chongqing, Mu Lin and Shi Tianlei have already joined Xinghuan Peak, I feel that the Holy Land can cancel their status as quasi-holy sons. Yifeng continued to speak out at this time. Hearing this, Huli didn't even react for a while. Elder Xinghuan, you just said that Xinghuan Peak, where you are, has accepted the 3 quasi-saints of the Holy Land? After recovering from her shock, Huli also showed an unbelievable look and looked at Yifeng to confirm. That's right. The 3 quasi-saints have already worshipped Xinghuan Peak. Yifeng nodded, looked at Huli, and gave a positive answer directly. Elder Xinghuan, since you have become a saint, their status as quasi-saints is actually useless. However, can I know how much purple dark crystals you spent to buy them? After getting Yifeng's affirmative answer, Huli thought about it, and then looked at Yifeng and asked, curiously. After all, in her opinion, it is impossible for anyone to worship at Xinghuan Peak, let alone the 3 quasi-saints, and the only possibility for this situation is that Yifeng used his unique special ability. Bought it? Who bought it? They ran to me on their own. Although I like to kidnap people in the lower realm, I haven't started in the upper realm yet. Hearing Hu Li's words, Yifeng also revealed a bitter smile. He has only been here for a day, and his master, who he has not yet recognized, has figured him out. Holy Lord! I want to say that they came here on their own and have nothing to do with me. Do you believe it? Looking at Hu Li opposite him, Yifeng explained seriously. Believe it. I believe everything Elder Xinghuan says. However, those three guys are really lucky. Not only did they join Xinghuan Peak, but they also got an unimaginable amount of benefits. I am a little envious of them. Hearing Yifeng's words, Hu Li also showed an envious look and said out loud. Grandmaster. Can there be a little basic trust between the disciple and the Grandmaster? I really didn't buy them. Hearing Hu Li's last words, Yifeng was going crazy. It's only been one day, and his image has been completely fixed in the master's mind. Chapter 296. No, I have to find someone to accompany me to suffer together. Holy Lord, I got a fun thing at Xinghuan Peak, do you want to go and see it? Yifeng really didn't want to continue on this topic, and looked at Hu Li and quickly changed the subject. Fun things? Hearing Yifeng's words, Hu Li also revealed a hint of curiosity. How fun would it be if a prodigal son could feel that something was fun? Elder Xinghuan, what exactly is the fun thing you are talking about? Can you give me a hint first? On the way to Xinghuan Peak, Hu Li couldn't help but ask. Holy Lord, it's boring to say it out loud. When you see it with your own eyes, I promise that thing will definitely bring you a great shock. Yifeng looked at Hu Li and said with a smile, pretending to be mysterious. It's fun again. It can bring me great shock. What on earth did this prodigal do? Hearing Yifeng's words, Hu Li wanted to rush to Xinghuan Peak to find out what was going on. A moment later. Yin-Yang Fantasy Pupil Grass. How many Yin-Yang Phantom Grasses were used to build this endless grass ladder? When Hu Li followed Yifeng to the side of the Xinghuan Peak and looked at the ladder made of Yin-Yang Phantom Grass, she couldn't believe her eyes. Holy Lord! I'm right, I knew you would be shocked when you saw this grass ladder. After all, I used 1 million Yin-Yang Phantom Grasses to build this grass ladder. It is definitely a pretty good piece of art. Looking at Hu Li with a shocked face, Yifeng also talked about the grass ladder with a proud look. What? 1 million? After learning that this grass ladder actually used 1 million Yin-Yang Phantom Grasses, Hu Li was going crazy. 1 million Yin-Yang Phantom Grasses, she didn't dare to dream of so many. Who would have thought that Yifeng not only had them, but also used them all to weave a grass ladder? Is this something a human can do? Huh. After taking a deep breath, Hu Li looked at Yifeng with a serious look and asked, Elder Xinghuan, can I know why you use so many Yin-Yang Phantom Grasses to make a grass ladder? One more choice. I want to give people from Xinghuan Peak one more choice when they go to the top of the peak in the future. Hearing Hu Li's question, Yifeng also smiled and explained. One more choice? You just killed 1 million Yin-Yang Phantom Grasses just to give people from Xinghuan Peak one more way to go to the top of the peak. After hearing Yifeng's explanation, Hu Li wanted to cry to death. You know, she had obtained less than 10,000 Yin-Yang Phantom Pupil Grasses through various means in thousands of years. That's right. Holy Lord, are there any cultivators in our Wuji Holy Land who practice Yin-Yang magic? This Yin-Yang Phantom Pupil Grass is a rare treasure in the eyes of those cultivators. If there are, they can't see this ladder, otherwise I'm afraid they will go crazy. At this moment, Yifeng suddenly thought of something, looked at Hu Li on the side and quickly reminded her. Huh? What's the situation? Why did the Holy Lord suddenly leave? Seeing Hu Li suddenly turn around and leave, Yifeng also showed a confused look. He was still thinking of inviting the Holy Lord to experience this expensive ladder together. Ignorance is not a crime. Although the entire Holy Land knows that I practice yin yang magic, it is normal that Yifeng just joined the Holy Land today and does not know. But I feel so bad. No, I can't be alone, I have to find someone to accompany me. Thinking of this, Huli suddenly changed direction and headed directly towards Zizhu Peak. After all, she and Elder Zizhu were the only ones in the entire Wuji Holy Land who practiced yin yang magic. She had to share this good thing with the other party. Zizhu Peak. Holy Lord, how come you have time to come to me today? Seeing Huli coming suddenly, Elder Zizhu also revealed a hint of doubt. Elder Zizhu, I found something very interesting, so I want to take you to see it. Hearing Elder Zizhu's question, Huli also directly stated the purpose of this visit. Fun things? Why don't I know what other fun things there are in the Holy Land? With curiosity, Elder Zizhu also followed Huli and left Zizhu Peak directly. A moment later. Holy Lord! Is this the fun thing you were talking about? Arriving at the foot of Xinghuan Peak, looking at the endless climbing ladder woven by yin-yang fantasy grass, Elder Zizhu also exclaimed with his eyes wide open. Elder Xinghuan made it? After recovering from his shock, Elder Zizhu also looked at Huli and asked directly. That's right. We still underestimated Elder Xinghuan's ability to squander money. Although he said that the ladder was just to give people from Xinghuan Peak an extra choice when they go up to the peak in the future, I feel that he simply wants to squander money. 1,000,000 yin-yang fantasy grasses, I even suspect that he has looted the entire yin-yang fantasy. Hearing Elder Zizhu's question, Huli also explained. Yin-yang fantasy realm, that is one of the forbidden places in the upper realm. Even though I have the 5th level of cultivation in the immortal emperor realm, I dare not set foot in it. It seems that the identity of this Xinghuan elder is far beyond our imagination. Speaking of this, Elder Zizhu also revealed a trace of heartache. He felt that these millions of yin-yang fantasy pupil grasses had suffered grievances that they should not have suffered. Elder Zizhu, seeing such precious yin-yang fantasy pupil grasses being woven into grass ladders, do you feel uncomfortable? At this time, Huli on the side suddenly asked Elder Zizhu. Uncomfortable? Why not? This thing may not be a big deal in the eyes of Elder Xinghuan, but it is a treasure in my eyes. Thinking that they will be trampled by countless people in the future, my heart is like a knife, and it is extremely uncomfortable. Hearing Huli's question, Elder Zizhu also directly expressed his inner feelings at this time. Elder Zizhu. Actually, Elder Xinghuan just reminded me not to let the cultivators who practice yin-yang magic in the Holy Land see this ladder, but I feel bad, so I brought you here, so that at least we can comfort each other. Huli also said her little thoughts at this time. Saint Lord, if you say that, I will feel even worse. Hearing Huli's words, Elder Zizhu was stunned at first, and then his mentality completely collapsed. Don't be so tricky to the Supreme Elder. Huh? Saint Lord, why are you back again? Who is this? Just then, Yifeng's voice suddenly came from not far away. Chapter 297, the speaker is unintentional, but the listener is intentional. Elder Xinghuan, this is the Grand Elder of Zizhu Peak. Seeing Yifeng suddenly appear here, Huli also introduced him with a little embarrassment. The Grand Elder of Zizhu Peak? After learning the identity of this old man, Yifeng asked in confusion, Elder Zizhu, Saint Lord, what are you doing here? Elder Xinghuan, I just met the Saint Lord, and heard from the Saint Lord that you made an extremely simple grass ladder here, so I asked the Saint Lord to take me here to see it. Hearing Yifeng's inquiry, Elder Zizhu also smiled and explained. So that's it. However, this grass ladder can be completed thanks to Lu Chongqing, Mu Lin and Shi Tianlei. They have been busy this afternoon. Look, I just rewarded them with 33 yin-yang fantasy eye grasses each. After learning the reason, Yifeng also smiled and told the two of them about the contributions of the 3 quasi-saints. However, the speaker is unintentional, but the listener is intentional. When Elder Zizhu and Huli heard this, they looked at each other, and there was a hint of excitement in their eyes. You too, do you want to experience this climbing ladder? It was getting late, and Yifeng was also ready to go back to rest, but when he looked at the two people standing aside, he asked, casually. Okay. Elder Zizhu and Huli also agreed immediately after hearing this. They were just about to go to the top of the peak to talk to the three quasi-saints. A moment later. Elder Zizhu, Saint Lord. Look at this Yinyang fantasy eye grass. It's long and tough. It was born for weaving grass ladders. If it's not used to weave grass ladders, it's the biggest waste of them. When climbing the grass ladder, Yifeng felt the firmness of the grass ladder and said to the two people climbing behind him. Long and tough? That's not a reason to weave a grass ladder. Hearing Yifeng's words, Elder Zizhu and Huli also showed extremely devastated expressions. These are the little darlings in their hearts. The top of Xinghuan Peak. Elder Xinghuan, this mountain ladder made of Yinyang magic eye grass is really not simple. You go back and rest first, the two of us are going to climb a few more times. After reaching the top of the mountain, Elder Zizhu also revealed a look of unsatisfied expression and said. Huh? It's just a broken grass ladder, and you are addicted to climbing it? Hearing what Elder Zizhu said, Yifeng also smiled helplessly, and then said nothing more, and walked directly towards his elder's courtyard. Saint Lord, what's the matter with the three quasi-saints? After Yifeng left, Elder Zizhu also looked at Huli and asked. Elder Zizhu, the three quasi-saints have already worshipped at Xinghuan Peak. Moreover, in the entire Holy Land, only the three of them have worshipped at Xinghuan Peak. Although I don't know what they think, this is definitely the most correct decision they have made in their lives. Hearing Elder Zizhu's question, Huli also started to explain. Xinghuan Peak, Disciples' Residential Area. 33 Yinyang Phantom Grasses, just for helping to weave the grass ladder, Yishao rewarded each of us with 33 Yinyang Phantom Grasses. I still can't believe this is true. Looking at the 33 Yinyang Phantom Grasses in his arms, Lu Chongqing's eyes were full of excitement. Fortunately, the two of us also worshipped at Xinghuan Peak, otherwise we would probably regret it to death. Mu Lin, who was standing aside, looked at the 33 Yinyang Phantom Grasses in his arms, and his face also showed an extremely fortunate look. But where did Tianhen go? At this time, Lu Chongqing also looked at Mu Lin with a puzzled look and asked. Squeak. At this moment, with the sound of the door suddenly opening, Tianhen, who looked very proud, also walked in from outside. Pung. After Tianhen put a small wooden barrel on his shoulder on the ground, he asked the confused Lu Chongqing and Mu Lin, do you know what is in it? What is it? With curiosity, Lu Chongqing and Mu Lin also asked together. Infinite Phantom Spirit Liquid. Seeing the curious faces of the two, Tianhen also excitedly said what was in the small wooden barrel. What? Hearing this, Lu Chongqing and Mu Lin both exclaimed with a drastic change of expression. You know, although they are quasi-holy sons, they have also practiced the Wuji Xianqing Gong, which only the sons or daughters of the saints are qualified to practice. If you want to practice the Wuji Xianqing Gong, you must practice it together with the Wuji Huanling liquid. Without the Wuji Huanling liquid, even if you practice the Wuji Xianqing Gong, you can only exert half of its power. In the past, they could only get a small bottle of Wuji Huanling liquid the size of a palm from the Holy Lord in a month. And how much Wuji Huanling liquid must be contained in this half-meter-high small wooden barrel in front of him? You really haven't seen the world. Are you scared silly with just this small bucket of Wuji Huanling liquid? Then if you see Yishao's super-large wooden barrel that is 5 meters high and 2 meters in diameter, you will be scared to pee directly. Looking at the two people's extremely shocked expressions, Tianhen couldn't help laughing. Tianhen, where did you get so much Wuji Huanling liquid? After recovering from his shock, Lu Chongqing looked at Tianhen and asked hurriedly. How did you get it? You two are just fools. While you were feeling complacent about the 33 Yinyang phantom grasses you got by accident, I had already gone to help Master Yi clean up his residence. You have already seen the result. This is the hard work fee that Master Yi gave me. After hearing Lu Chongqing's question, Tianhen did not hide anything. After all, he would continue to work for Yi Feng in the future, and the two would know it sooner or later. Fuck. Tianhen, you are so sneaky, why don't you call us? After learning the reason, Lu Chongqing and Mu Lin also cursed Tianhen directly, and then the two looked at each other and rushed directly to the small wooden barrel. Fuck. You two are not human beings. You also snatched this little Wuji phantom liquid. Seeing the two people rushing over, Tianhen cursed and quickly put the small wooden barrel containing Wuji phantom liquid into the fairy ring, and then wrestled with the two people rushing over on the ground. Holy Lord, what's going on? Coming to the door of the house where the three people were, Elder Zizhu looked at the three quasi-holy sons wrestling on the ground and asked Huli with a confused look on his face. I don't know. Logically speaking, Elder Xinghuan gave each of them 33 Yinyang phantom grasses, so there shouldn't be a fight over them. Hearing Elder Zizhu's question, Huli looked at the three people wrestling together, and then looked at the Yinyang phantom grasses scattered on the ground, with a puzzled look on her face. Chapter 298, Huli and Elder Zizhu singing the same tune. Elder Zizhu. Although I don't know why they are fighting, it is definitely related to the 99 Yinyang phantom pupil grasses. In order for them to live in harmony and work better for Elder Xinghuan, I feel that the 99 Yinyang phantom pupil grasses should all be taken back to the sect. What do you think, Elder Zizhu? Huli Sin thought of something, and then asked Elder Zizhu beside her with a serious look. Holy Lord, I think you are right. We can't let the 99 Yinyang phantom pupil grasses harm them. If they can fight today, they may draw their swords against each other tomorrow. They are still too young. They can't control the 99 Yinyang phantom pupil grasses now. Hearing Huli's words, Elder Zizhu knew what she meant, and directly expressed his thoughts at this time. Enough. Stop it now. As the three quasi-saints of the Holy Land, you are now fighting over these mere 99 Yinyang phantom grasses. How shameful. As Huli's angry rebuke sounded, the three people who were fighting stopped. When they saw Huli and Elder Zizhu standing at the door, they also stood up and stood in a row, with extremely embarrassed expressions on their faces. Look at what you look like now. Do you still look like quasi-saints? Elder Xinghuan gave each of you 33 Yinyang phantom grasses. Under such a fair situation, you actually snatched them from each other. You can fight with each other today, will you draw your swords against each other tomorrow? You really disappoint me. Looking at the three quasi-saints standing in a row, Huli scolded them again, and at the same time, she also signaled to Elder Zizhu beside her. Saint Lord, we can't let them go on like this. Fortunately, we found it in time today, otherwise, when they really draw their swords against each other, it will be too late. I suggest taking away their Yinyang fantasy pupil grass, and then let them reflect on it. Elder Zizhu also spoke directly at the side at this time. Hearing what Elder Zizhu said, the three of them couldn't believe their ears. You are singing the same tune, the purpose is to take away our Yinyang fantasy pupil grass? After recovering from their shock, the three of them also revealed a bitter smile. They knew that only the Saint Lord and Elder Zizhu had cultivated Yinyang magical powers in the entire Holy Land. Since the two found them together, they must have come for the Yinyang fantasy pupil grass. They knew that even if they tried to defend themselves, even if they explained it clearly, the Saint Lord and Elder Zizhu would take away the Yinyang fantasy pupil grass from their hands in other ways. Thinking of this, the three of them also silently chose to accept it. However, When the three of them saw Huli and Elder Zizhu picking up the scattered yin-yang fantasy grass on the ground with excitement, they really went crazy. They really wanted to say to Huli and Elder Zizhu, "Can you please stop smiling? Are you afraid that we can't see your purpose?" After a moment. "Okay, reflect on yourself tonight. If this happens again, no matter what the cultivation resources are, they will all be returned to the sect." After successfully getting the 99 yin-yang phantom grasses, Huli was also satisfied and ready to leave, but before leaving, she still left a pit. After all, she felt that these three quasi-saints would definitely have treasures that she needed in the future. "Saint Lord, you can't leave now. If you leave now, I'm afraid we will continue to fight." At this moment, Mu Lin suddenly shouted at Huli. "Stare." Hearing Mu Lin shout, Tianhen on the side was inexplicably panicked. "Why?" With doubts, Huli also looked at Mu Lin and asked. "Holy Lord." Because Tianhen has a bucket of Wuji Huanling liquid in his hand. Before Mu Lin could answer, Lu Chongqing on the side started to yell. "Fuck. You two are crazy. I just didn't give you any points, why do you have to go to this extent?" Hearing what Lu Chongqing said, Tianhen was going crazy. If he had known it would turn out like this, he wouldn't have pretended so much. It's fun to show off for a while, but it's a funeral procession if you keep showing off. He regrets it now. So much. When Huli saw the infinite phantom liquid in the small wooden barrel that Tianhen took out, her eyes were full of disbelief. "Tianhen, where did you get so much infinite phantom liquid?" After recovering from her shock, Huli looked at Tianhen and asked. "Holy Lord, this is the reward I gave to Elder Xinghuan after I helped him clean his residence." Hearing Huli's question, Tianhen also hurriedly explained. "Reward yin-yang phantom grass for weaving a grass ladder? Reward infinite phantom liquid for helping to clean the residence?" Huli and Elder Zizhu seem to have found a shortcut to get rich. This infinite magic liquid is of great help to your cultivation. You can keep it for yourself. As for how to distribute it, you can decide for yourself. Also, you can go to the Holy Land Treasury tomorrow and each get the cultivation resources you need. After saying that, Huli and Elder Zizhu left the house directly. Sure enough, the Holy Lord and Elder Zizhu came for our yin-yang magic grass, otherwise they would not let us go to the Holy Land Treasury. After Huli and Elder Zizhu left, Mu Lin also directly expressed his thoughts. "Yes. However, the yin-yang illusion grass is really of no help to us. If we can go to the Holy Land Treasure House, we will not lose anything." Lu Chongqing, who was standing aside, also said at this time. "Fuck. Tianhen, what the hell are you doing?" However, at this moment, Lu Chongqing and Mu Lin saw Tianhen jump directly into the small wooden barrel, and they shouted in shock. "Ha ha ha. Grab it. You two bastards, keep grabbing it. If you can drink my foot-washing water and bath water, then come and grab it." Looking at the two people who showed shock, Tianhen couldn't help laughing. Tianhen would never have thought that because of his behavior, he would get huge benefits far beyond his imagination tomorrow. Elder Courtyard. "System, are you here? All the waste products for today have been wasted, why hasn't the reward arrived yet? Also, I asked the three of them to help make the grass ladder and paid them hard work, but the reward hasn't arrived yet. By the way, Tianhen helped me clean the house just now, and I also paid him hard work, where is the reward?" Lying on the bed, Yifeng also asked the system directly. Chapter 299 Host, I really admire you, Old Man Ding. Host, don't panic, because when you reach the upper realm, the system will also be upgraded. In the next 15 days, rewards may be delayed occasionally, but after 15 days, this situation will no longer occur. Soon, the system's voice sounded in Yifeng's mind. Upgrade? System, you actually need to upgrade? After hearing the system's answer, Yifeng also showed a touch of surprise. Ding. Remind the host that the system upgrade is only to seal all the cultivation resources related to the lower realm, so as to avoid rewarding cultivation resources from the lower realm when in the upper realm. Hearing this, Yifeng thought for a moment and asked, System, the upgrade takes 15 days. Can it be interrupted during this period? Also, if all the cultivation resources in the lower realm are unlocked again, what should we do? Ding. The upgrade process cannot be interrupted. Ding. If all the cultivation resources in the lower realm need to be unlocked, it will also take 15 days. After hearing the system's explanation, Yifeng suddenly asked, System, my real cultivation level is the 8th level of the tribulation realm. You said that after 15 days, I will return to the lower realm, not directly ascend to the upper realm, but continue to play in the lower realm for a while, and use the cultivation resources of the upper realm to squander. Wouldn't that be very fun? System? Why don't you talk? After not getting a response from the system for a long time, Yifeng also hurriedly called the system. Ding. Host, you don't play by the rules. I really admire you. The system is looking for a remedy. Ha ha ha. After hearing the system's response, Yifeng was stunned for a moment, and then he couldn't help laughing out loud. He really didn't expect that. He just asked casually, but he confused the system all of a sudden. System, there is no need to find any remedy, I was just joking. After laughing, Yifeng also hurriedly said to the system. Crap. It's over, the system doesn't believe what I said at all. Seeing that the system didn't respond for a long time, Yifeng also showed a hint of disappointment. It was definitely another feeling to be crazy about squandering the cultivation resources of the upper world and the lower world. After all, he had squandered a kind of top-level fairy fruit in the upper world and the lower world, and he had never squandered all kinds of cultivation resources in the upper world. Too much talk leads to mistakes, he shouldn't have said so much just now. The next morning. Ding. Congratulations to the host for completing yesterday's wasteful product, and you will be rewarded with 1,000 wasteful points and 1 immortal pill. Ding. Congratulations to the host for triggering the wasteful behavior, and you will be rewarded with 500,000 wasteful points and 10 domain advancement fragments. Ding. Congratulations to the host for triggering the wasteful behavior, and you will be rewarded with 300,000 wasteful points. Just after Yifeng woke up, the system's reward prompt sounds rang in his mind one after another. The reward of the prodigal points that trigger the prodigal behavior is not fixed. It seems that the breakthrough method has been changed, and the system really doesn't take the prodigal points seriously. However, this time I actually got 10 domain advancement fragments, which can just allow my death sword intent to break through to the sword domain. I don't know if it will scare the 3 quasi-saints and the master at that time. Thinking of this, Yifeng also showed a hint of expectation. Boom. As a powerful death sword intent burst out from Yifeng's residence, 3 figures also quickly rushed towards the elder's courtyard where Yifeng was. Sword storm. Sword domain. Seeing that the entire elder's courtyard was shrouded in the sword storm formed by the death sword intent, Lu Chongqing, Mu Lin and Tianhen who came over also showed a hint of surprise. Rare death sword intent. However, why did Yi Xiao only realize the sword domain now? Looking at the sword storm, Mu Lin also said with a puzzled look. I don't know. Although the death sword intent is rare, with Master Ye's financial resources, it shouldn't be difficult to buy a sword and lightning stone containing the death sword intent. Tianhen on the side also expressed his thoughts. You two know nothing. Master Yi is a big man who ascended from the lower realm. Among the cultivators who ascended from the lower realm, if someone can comprehend the sword realm at this stage of strength, he is definitely a genius. After hearing the thoughts of Mu Lin and Shi Tianlei, Lu Chongqing on the side really wanted to go up and give them a few big slaps, and then yelled at them, "Don't make blind guesses if you don't know anything." "Brother Chongqing, what do you think of Yi Xiao's situation?" Seeing that Lu Chongqing had not spoken, Mu Lin and Shi Tianlei also asked with curiosity. "Do you think that Yi Xiao could be a cultivator from the lower realm who ascended to the lower realm?" In the absence of the sword and lightning stone in the lower realm, Yi Xiao relied on his terrifying understanding to comprehend the sword realm at this stage of strength, so Yi Xiao is actually a sword genius. Hearing the two people's questions, Lu Chongqing thought about it and directly said part of the facts in a guessing way. "No fever?" "Brother Chongqing, are you stupid? How could Yi Xiao be a cultivator who ascended from the lower realm?" "A cultivator who ascended from the lower realm can have so many treasures in his hands that we dare not imagine." Touching Lu Chongqing's forehead, Mu Lin also looked at Lu Chongqing with a look of looking at a fool. "That's right. I guess Yi Xiao is definitely the son of a top holy land, and he came to our Wuji holy land just to relax and spend money." Shi Tianlei on the side also expressed his thoughts. Looking at the two people who were being smart, Lu Chongqing sighed helplessly and thought to himself, "You two fools, Master Yi was once the disciple of the saint. Although I don't know why Master Yi is so rich, if Master Yi hadn't bought the status of the saint's son and the supreme elder, our status would be one generation higher than Master Yi. I don't know if the saint knows the situation of her disciple." 15 days later, when the saint returns to Wuji Holy Land, I'm afraid Wuji Holy Land will be completely messed up. When the Saint Lord suddenly finds out that he is actually Master Yi's master, I don't know what his reaction will be. Lu Chongqing didn't dare to imagine the scene 15 days later. "Ha ha ha. 3 of you, I just had a little insight and accidentally broke through. I didn't scare you." At this time, Yi Feng, who had just broken through, walked out of the house and looked at the 3 quasi-saints in the courtyard and showed off proudly. "Scare us? Isn't it just that the death sword intent has been realized in the realm of swords? We are the 3 quasi-saints of the Holy Land, after all. If this can scare us, aren't we too useless?" Hearing Yi Feng's words, Mu Lin and Shi Tianlei also showed a look of confusion. Chapter 300 The Hairless Sword Dog Can Bend and Stretch. "Brother Jian, you are so handsome. Young Master Yi. Your breakthrough in the realm of death sword intent is simply earth-shattering. You really scared me just now." However, Lu Chongqing on the side was pretending to be exaggerated to cooperate with Yi Feng at this time. Seeing Lu Chongqing's exaggerated performance, Mu Lin and Shi Tianlei on the side turned their heads to look at him with an expression of disbelief. This was too fake. Yi Feng also noticed the difference between Mu Lin and Shi Tianlei at this time. It was really that the reactions of the two and Lu Chongqing formed 2 extremes. If he couldn't see the problem, he would be a big fool. After a while, when Yi Feng learned from the 3 people that there was a thing called Sword and Lightning Stone in the upper realm, he thought of his ridiculous boasting just now, and a touch of embarrassment appeared on his face. He really didn't expect that the realm, which was the top level of artistic conception in the lower realm, was just the foundation in the upper realm. No matter whether you practiced sword, stick or knife, you could buy the corresponding Realm and Lightning Stone. With the help of the Realm and Lightning Stone, you can raise your artistic conception to the realm level in a very short time. However, even so, if the cultivators who ascended from the lower realm have already comprehended the artistic conception to the realm level, it also proves their terrifying comprehension. Even if they reach the upper realm, as long as they work hard to practice, they can also rise quickly. Chongqing, you said that this enlightenment stone is a very common, special fairy ore in the Tiandao battlefield. Who can imprint their own realm-level artistic conception on it? Yi Feng looked at Lu Chongqing with curiosity and asked. Young Master Yi. Above the realm is the law of heaven and earth. As long as you can break through the realm of mind to the law level, you can borrow the power of the law of heaven and earth to exert extremely terrifying power. And there are 10 levels of law. Take the law of sword as an example. As long as you break through to the lowest level, the law of sword, you can imprint your own realm-level sword intention on the realm stone, so the realm stone is an extremely common consumable. However, if there is not enough comprehension or opportunity, many cultivators will find it difficult to break through to the first level of law in their lifetime. Hearing Yifeng's question, Lu Chongqing also hurriedly explained. Oh. Then what level have you three reached? After hearing this, Yifeng looked at the three people with curiosity and asked. First level, the law of sword. After hearing Yifeng's question, the three people answered in unison. All sword cultivators? It seems that these three guys will compete with my sword dog in the future. After learning that the three were sword cultivators, Yifeng changed his mind at this time. The first sword dog on the continent was no longer the goal of the little yellow dog. He wanted to train the little yellow dog to be the first sword dog in the heavens and all realms. Even the upper realm is not the end of the little yellow dog. The lower realm, Xinghuan sect. Crap. You lunatic, stop chasing me and chopping me, you're almost chopping off all the dog hair on my body. I just want to be a salty dog, eat and sleep every day. I'm really not interested in the number one sword dog on the continent. When can I ascend to the upper realm to be free? Looking at the one-armed lunatic who was chasing him and chopping him, the little yellow dog, who had only a few dog hairs left and was covered with tiny bloodstains, also cursed at him. Not far away, the blood-sucking mantis in white clothes and holding a feather fan saw this scene and said to himself with envy, looking at the entire sect, now except for the sect master and Lord Xiaotang, only brother dog dares to talk to him like this. Upper realm, Wuji Holy Land. By the way, isn't today the day when Wuji Holy Land recruits disciples? Don't you have anyone to take charge? After knowing that the sword intent of the three people had all realized the level of the first realm, sword law, Yifeng suddenly thought of something, looked at the three people and asked curiously. Young Master Yi, the Holy Land only recruits disciples once every 5 years, so the Holy Lord and the three Supreme Elders will be in charge of it personally. Besides, it's still early now, it's not time to start yet. Hearing Yifeng's question, Lu Chongqing also hurriedly answered. Ding. Remind the host that Taishu Sword Sect, Punlai Fairy Island, and Tianwu Sect have spent a lot of money to invite 6-peak 9th-level Immortal Emperor Realm powerhouses to sabotage the Wuji Holy Land's Disciple Recruitment Conference. 3 of them are already mixed in the crowd outside the Holy Land, and 3 are on their way to the Holy Land. Ding. You can randomly select a prodigal guard to solve the problem, or you can designate a prodigal guard to solve the problem. At this moment, the system's prompt sound suddenly rang in Yifeng's mind. After hearing the system's prompt, Yifeng's eyes flashed with murderous intent. He hadn't gone to trouble the 3 forces that had surrounded and killed Luo Qianxue, but who would have thought that the other party was actually preparing to attack the Wuji Holy Land again? Don't worry, first deal with these 6 Immortal Emperor Realm powerhouses. By then, these 3 major forces will probably be scared out of their wits. Let Master solve Master's revenge, by himself. Let them live in fear for a few more days. Thinking of this, Yifeng directly said to the system, System, let Xiaojian, Xiaotang and Xiaojiao deal with the 3 guys outside the Holy Land, and then let Yi deal with the 3 who are still rushing to the Holy Land. The lower world, Xinghuan sect. Come on. You lunatic with missing arms and legs, keep chopping the dog master. If you have the guts, chop off all the hair on the dog master's body. Seeing that the one-armed lunatic suddenly stopped, the little yellow dog also shouted loudly. It had been completely chopped crazy. It was chopping 10,000 times, and it was chopping 10,001 times. It was still missing that one knife. My lord asked me to go to the upper realm to deal with something. Do you want to go with me? Ignoring the little yellow dog's shouting, the one-armed madman asked directly. Little sword brother, I think you look so handsome when you hold a sword in one hand. The hairless sword dog is flexible. When the little yellow dog learned that he had the opportunity to go to the upper realm, he directly praised the one-armed madman loudly. In the sect hall. Big sister, my master asked me to go out and do something, so I have to leave for a while. Seeing Luo Qianxue sitting on the ground exhausted, Yi Xiaotang ate a lollipop and said directly. Now I can't see Yifeng every day, and he doesn't even come back to sleep now. What is he doing? After hearing Yi Xiaotang's words, Luo Qianxue also asked, curiously. Big sister, my master is very busy every day to give you a big surprise, but I believe you can see him every day after a while. After saying that, Yi Xiaotang didn't say anything more and left the sect hall directly. I will ascend to the upper realm in a while, how can I see him every day? After hearing Yi Xiaotang's strange words, I don't know why, Luo Qianxue always felt that Yifeng didn't prepare a big surprise for her, but an unknown shock that she didn't expect.